Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in days of old lang syne?
Hey everyone, we're here with Miss Caissie Levy. How are you, Caissie?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very happy to be here. So what's on your wish list for the holidays?
Some chill time with my son and my husband. I don't know that that's really going to happen because I'm doing this big show on New Year's Eve here, which I'm in preparation for. But yeah, just some downtime to appreciate the year that's passing and the year that's upcoming.
Do you have any odd or quirky New Year's traditions? Because I remember you've heard people running around the block with suitcases or no? Oh well, maybe that's. I grew up in Latin America and apparently if you wanted to travel during the year at the strike of midnight, you would grab suitcases and run around the block, and that meant that you would get to travel, or the famous eating the grapes kind of thing.
Yeah, I like the idea that you should spend New Year's Eve ringing in the new year doing something you love that's intrinsic to who you are, and that's what I'm excited about with doing my show at 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve is I'm going to be singing literally into the new year. And I think that's a great metaphor, doing what you love and being joyful about it and singing to a room full of beautiful people. I think that's a nice omen.
Right. So no pressure, but what's it like then to pick, the one song that you're going to be singing at 11:59?
Yes, I think I've picked a good one. I have a couple dear friends of mine, Casey Chic and Andrew Kober, who were in here with me, and they're joining me for a few numbers that night, and I think they'll be singing with me right before the countdown. And we're keeping it light and fun and uplifting and joyful. And we're rocking out right up until the countdown. So I want the audience to just enjoy themselves and be in that party mode,
Right. And what was then the other exciting part about putting together your set list for, such a special show? Because people always remember where they were on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's such an honor. The fact that 54 Below asked me to sing this night means a lot to me. And so I spent a lot of time really handpicking each song so that I could tell great stories alongside these songs and kind of set the tone for the year. And I'll be doing, some amazing pop songs and rock songs, but I'm also singing highlights from my Broadway career. So there'll be lots of show tunes that people know and love, done in a new and different way than they're done in the musicals themselves.
Does it mean that Elsa will pop up at some point?
Perhaps. You never know. Can't say.
I'm so excited about Frozen. I almost made it to Colorado, but I couldn't. I have a million Frozen questions, but I'm really curious, when you were growing up, what Disney princess did you want to be?
Oh, I was very into Ariel. She's my girl. I just loved the music in The Little Mermaid. I loved everything about her. So yeah, she was the one I identified with. But now that I'm Elsa, there's no Disney princess or queen that I relate more to than her.
Right. I always felt that Elsa was very misunderstood, and I loved her from the second I met her. So what was it like for you to get to, to know her and become her?
Yeah, similarly, I felt bonded to her right away. I just love that she has to overcome so much. She's been told from the time she was a little girl that the thing that makes her unique and special is something that should be hidden. And she has this terrible burden to grow up hiding who she really is. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. And when she comes into her own, it's so beautiful to watch her accept and love herself, even for the things she thought were flaws, that they then become the things that make her beautiful. And she gets to realize that, and that's how she finds her way back to her sister, is by accepting who she is. I just love that message so much.
Right, and we've spoken before about, your passion for education, and now you love teaching children, and now you get to be a Disney princess who also gets to teach children. So that must be mind-blowing for your students.
You know what, it really is. And as a strong woman, I love that Elsa, her love story is not about a man. That I get to show these young girls that it's about loving yourself and finding your way back to your family. Her whole plight is about her sister and finding her way to Anna. And it's really refreshing to be playing such a layered, complex role that does not revolve around the love of a man.
Right. And obviously you have one of the most beautiful voices that I think I've ever heard. So how do you, what's your secret formula? Because you have to hit that note and let it go every night.
My secret formula is a team of people, including my voice teacher, including our sound designer, Peter Helinski, who's amazing, including Stephen Arimas, our music supervisor, and of course Robert and Kristen Lopez, who wrote the music. You know, we all powwow together and really come up with a plan on how to make this song sparkle every single night, show after show. And on my end, it's just about taking really good care of myself. It's so boring, but it's like a ton of sleep, a ton of water, no booze, no parties. So, you know, it's a sacrifice, but the fact that I get to sing Let It Go among other songs in the show, and I get to be that person that ushers that music out into the world is so worth it. To live like a nun, it is so worth it. I'm so honored.
To live like a nun, that's a perfect theme for the holidays, I think. So, you know, and obviously, like, you love performing and being on stage in shows, but what's it like then? What do you love also to do shows at Feinstein's, for instance?
I just love connecting with an audience out of costume as myself. I think when I was earlier in my career, I felt less comfortable with that. But, you know, I've grown up, I've gotten married, I've had a son, I've worked on Broadway for a decade, and I feel like now I have something to share as Caissie up on stage, not just as the characters I portray in a musical. And it's just really enjoyable for me. I get to sort of make an arrangement of a song that I love and do something different with it, and creatively it's really satisfying. And I get to look out and see the faces and hear the laughter, and there's something kind of wonderful about that give and take.
Right. Is there one song that you've always wanted to perform that you still haven't had a chance to?
There's so many songs. I mean, I'm a music nerd, you know. I grew up going to concerts of all my favorite rock artists. So, yeah, there's like a crazy long list of music I would love to still sing. I would love to do more Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell. They're like two of my biggest influences. I suppose if I had to pick one, maybe River by Joni Mitchell. I've never performed that live. And I'm not going to sing that on New Year's Eve, even though it's very Christmassy, because it's a downer, and I want people to be happy.
Yeah, I love that about Christmas music. I mean, I guess if you love Christmas music, you kind of be kind of a masochist, because it's so sad. So, you know, like...
The melodies are so beautiful and haunting. And
right. What Christmas records do you find yourself playing at home or in your car or listening to on the subway?
Well, you know, I'm Jewish, so I don't listen to a ton of Christmas music, but I love it. I'm like a real diehard fan for it. And Mark Broussard's Christmas album is absolutely beautiful. I saw him play live at City Winery 2 years ago now. And he sang that entire holiday record, and it's gorgeous. I highly recommend it.
Awesome. And the last thing that I'll ask you for now is, you know, what are like your top 3 wishes for the new year?
I wish for some healing in this world, politically. I wish for lots of silly time playing with my son. And I wish for the health and happiness of my friends and family.
Caissie, thank you for joining us, and happy holidays and happy new year.
Happy holidays and happy new year to you. Thanks.
For